It's me. It's me. It's OWP. What's up, everyone? It's the O Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, CW, and today we're talking about Raw is 30 / Raw is XXX, depending on how you want to read their marketing. So I watched Raw. I put watched in big ass air quotes because I totally fell asleep by the second hour. Was it second hour or third hour? I think I fell asleep around 9:30, maybe 10, maybe 9. Let's call it 9:45 to be safe. But up until then, I was watching Raw is 30, and it was a show made for, I think, my generation. Honestly, anyone who grew up in the 80s and watched a lot of wrestling in the 90s, early 2000s, this was kind of their thing. The obvious people ran out. DX, which I found funny when DX came out, because they did their a couple months ago, a month ago or so. They had like their DX reunion show on Raw, and Shawn Michaels said, "If you guys see us come out here again in 20 years, just put us out of our misery," or something like that. And basically, Shawn was saying like, we're old and we don't need to be out here, throwing up X's anymore. We're all, they're not degenerates anymore. They're all pretty much working men behind the scenes. And then they come out again, throwing up the X, doing all their old shtick. And I'm gonna be honest, man, I don't want to see them come out again. I'm good on DX. As a guy who grew up watching DX and being pretty indifferent to them, especially the Triple H configuration, I don't need to see it anymore. I especially don't need to see Shawn Michaels in his current state out there trying to gyrate again. Like, come on. I love him. I love them all. Again, it's my original wrestling kind of pedigree, for lack of a better term. It was DX, that music, that whole deal. But yeah, I don't want to see their old ass trotting around in the ring. But that being said, it did set up an interesting match with Seth Rollins and the Street Profits versus Imperium. The match itself was fine. Kurt Angle coming out and pretending that he had always wanted to be in DX was weird, but fun. Kurt Angle's always fun. The man, when Kurt Angle was doing his comedy shtick in WWE, it was always entertaining, and seeing him kind of get bullied and pestering DX was kind of funny. But then you always remember that these are all like 50-year-old men. You don't no one's gonna bully Kurt Angle, especially them, which was the most absurd part. But yeah, DX came out, did their thing. Earlier in the show, Hulk Hogan showed up, which I muted. I was not interested in hearing him talk his nonsense again. Yeah, the show itself went a little long because of a pretty great segment to open the show after Hogan came out and soured me, which was the Trial of Sami Zayn, which was, a strange thing to pop up on screen for me. My daughter likes to watch at least 30 minutes of wrestling before she goes to bed every Monday. And she sat there with me trying to watch this trial, and she said, "Daddy, I wish there was more wrestling and less talking." I said, I wish I can help you, kid, but this is how they're going to kick off the show. And an odd decision for sure, because I think it did run long. It was about 30 minutes. No one wrestled, and it was just a lot of storyline, which I'm fine with. I'm a story guy. I love lore. I love story. It's the only reason I play Destiny 2, because Lord knows I'm a terrible shot, but I do love the story. So I was intrigued at the story that Paul Heyman was kind of turning his back and really going after Sami Zayn, calling him like a liar and a conspirator, and Sami Zayn sitting there being the best performer possible. You want to see some emotion on a dude's face. He went from being disappointed to, kind of accepting his fate when Roman Reigns called for Solo to kind of take him out. And then the coup de grace, the biggest moment of the entire night, honestly, was friggin' Jey Uso, the right-hand man, came and saved Sami Zayn from the Samoan spike. You want to talk about a roller coaster storyline. They've really, really laid the groundwork for such a great emotional arc for these characters. With Jay even stating, yo, I used to hate you and I didn't trust you at all, but you know, I love you like a brother now. That's 100. And he with the most ridiculous part is like, I made my own video package last night. And they're like, who asked you to do that? And why would you do that? But he put up, he put up a defense video package showing all the time Sami Zayn ran in and helped them with a match or saved people from chair shots or super kicks or whatever to counteract Paul Heyman's kind of doctored footage of Sami being a coward or, being out for himself or, doing the best one was him, the schoolyard shoulder bump by accident, calling it an assault. He was trying to take out the tribal chief, which was funny. But Jey Uso coming to his aid and just the emotion on Sami's face, you can almost see it's like he was genuinely like, that was beautiful, man. Thank you for saying that. And they had their moment, and Roman Reigns did his tribal chief thing, which is, yeah, you're not guilty for now, and you have to prove yourself. He's always telling him he has to prove himself at this place and this, that, and the other thing, and you have to prove yourself. He said that the same thing in War Games. He's like, you got to prove yourself in the War Games, and he did. He kicked the crap out of Kevin Owens. But again, this is just more layers of him manipulating and gaslighting, and it's perfect. Everything about the storyline is perfect. And while I'm sad that Becky Lynch and Bayley didn't get to do their cage match because it literally got cut to ribbons. They took the brunt of it, and the end of the show got cut up because they went long, 30 minutes for sure. I do appreciate the story that they told. And then literally right after that, they had a great tag team match where Jimmy got quote unquote hurt, and then Sami had to step in as an honorary Uso and be part of the tag team and then defend the tag team champions against the Judgment Day. And then Sami gets the pin. They even did the 1D. Everything was really well put together from that 30-minute trial to the tag team championship defense. And to see him holding the championship title with Jay and not Jimmy all by themselves was a testament to how this story has progressed over time. Sami was an element that no one knew they needed in this storyline, and it just works. And it's going to be heartbreaking, devastating when Roman or Sami turns on each other, and watching Jay have to deal with that. I'm interested to see how they manage that, because like I've said time and time again, the only way that this storyline ends properly, the only way that a satisfying end could happen to this, it's not Sami Zayn taking on Roman Reigns and winning the title. No, it's Jey Uso, the right-hand man, taking on Roman Reigns. After all the stuff that Roman has done, he's going to see through it when he has to take him on for the title. Whether or not he wins the title, the Bloodline storyline ends with Jay versus Roman for those titles. That's the play. Because you can't set up such a strong relationship where Roman basically bullied Jay into submission and then gave him the title of right hand man, as if like, yeah, I've beaten him down and now he's my guy, to not having him stand up to Roman and ultimately defeat him. Like I said, I've said before, once this storyline is over, Roman is gone for a while. He's going to, I think, go the route of The Undertaker and do a couple matches a year tops. But once this Bloodline thing is done, it's over, and it's going to be Jay taking the baton. Anyway, did you guys like Raw is 30/ Raw is XXX? Wow. Let me know in the comments. Hit that bell, subscribe on YouTube or any podcasting platform that you prefer. You can listen to the dulcet tones of CW talking about wrestling. Thank you all so much for listening to the O Wrestling Podcast. It's chest day, time to go lift, but don't you ever forget.
I'm your friend, but if I ever see you in the ring, I can beat you. Don't you know? Yeah, yeah, yeah.